putting your investments in a way that it starts generating money for you. It could be in form of real estate rentals, it could be in form of dividends, or it could be in form of side hustles. Ideally, to create wealth, you should have three sources of income. Hello, everyone. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 critical points for creating wealth. And I'm talking to you about this topic from this gorgeous Laughing Falls in the Yoho National Park in Canada. To come over here was not a laughing matter. It is a steep incline, and we hike for around 5 miles. And on the way back, again, it'll be 5 miles of incline and decline. A quick introduction about myself. My name is Yogi, and my wife Seema and I, we both achieved financial independence and retired early before the age of 50. And to celebrate that, we are on this 1-year round the world trip, and that is what brings us to the Canadian Rocky Mountains. And I'm bringing these messages or the different videos from different parts of the world wherever I'm traveling. All right, back to the topic. So the 5 things that I'm going to talk to you about are quite fundamental and basic, but they are very important towards not just creating wealth, but also towards the journey to financial independence. So the first one, as expected, is how do you increase your savings? Now, if you have zero savings, then the chance of you creating wealth is also likely zero. While at the other extreme end of the spectrum, if you are saving 100% of your salary or your income, that means you've already achieved financial independence. Most of you would be somewhere in between that scale. And interestingly, mathematically, every percentage of savings has a direct correlation to the years of financial independence or years towards the journey to financial independence. By rule of thumb, typically, I think to achieve financial independence and also to create wealth, you should be saving at least 30% of your annual income. And that also brings me to the next point, which impacts your savings rate. And that is the lifestyle inflation and managing lifestyle inflation. Most of us think about cost of inflation or cost of living index, and we focus on that. But in my view, in the journey to financial independence, the regular inflation will have a minimal impact or marginal impact on your overall wealth creation. It is the lifestyle inflation that has a bigger impact. What is this lifestyle inflation? Lifestyle inflation is our cost of living, keeping up appearances, and enjoying life. It could be in form of cars, watches, handbags, even the house, the neighborhood that we live in. Everything comes with a cost and a lifestyle along with what we buy. And interestingly, the regular inflation as an absolute number, it could be an index that you can watch. There's a lot of news about inflation nowadays, so you know how much percentage of inflation you're having. Lifestyle inflation, interestingly, doesn't have a number, and it just creeps in. And that's why it's very important to manage that, because it will have a big impact towards your, not just how much savings you do, but how quickly can you go towards a path to financial independence. I have made another video about the path towards being rich and path towards being wealthy. And the critical element on the difference between being rich and wealthy is the lifestyle inflation. So that's the second point. The third element, which is very important towards creating wealth, is, and it impacts your wealth creation, is portfolio diversification. Never have all your investments into a single asset. So just having one house or your company stocks or RSUs as just your only element of investment, that puts you at, makes you a lot more vulnerable on a market condition on that particular asset. Be it real estate prices drop because of, maybe the demand supply in your area. It could be the share price of your company tanks because of some bad decision which is taken by the executives or the board. So the diversified portfolio makes your wealth creation journey much more resilient and much more powerful. By rule of thumb, ideally, you should not have more than 30% of your total savings in one particular asset or one particular investment. So you should have a look and see if you have a good distributed set of assets, or is it that it's concentrated in one or two elements? And when I say concentrated in one or two elements, I do not mean stocks or real estate in general. I mean owning one particular stock or one particular real estate or one particular fixed deposit in a bank. That just makes you vulnerable, and it impacts your journey to financial independence as well as wealth creation. The next one is linked to the distribution of your portfolio is distribution of your risk. And that is what I call the bucket strategy. I made another video specifically detailing what a bucket strategy is. But in simple terms, you need to make sure that your entire asset portfolio has also distributed risks based on short-term, medium-term, and long-term. So that means for short-term, your risk profile should be much lower, something that is easily accessible in form of cash or fixed deposit. Medium-term is where probably you are able to draw not just income, but it is also giving you dividends, but also those are good, let's say, blue chip stocks. And long-term is probably where your risk profile is high, because that's where you can probably zoom out and look at that portfolio in terms of years. And when you do this risk distribution, you are making sure that while you're creating wealth, you're not just got distributed assets, but you've distributed risks. So that way that your money, every dollar, is making different returns. The last point I would say is creating or starting to create a stream of passive income. So putting your investments in a way that it starts generating money for you. It could be in form of real estate rentals, it could be in form of dividends, or it could be in form of side hustles. Ideally, to create wealth, you should have three sources of income. Primary source being your salary, secondary source being your passive income in form of rentals, dividends, etc. And the tertiary or the third source being a side hustle. And the side hustle could be in form of blogs, it could be in form of any consulting or any other activity that you do. That's an ideal scenario, but at least you should have two sources of income. One being your primary and the second being your secondary through dividends, real estate, rentals, etc. Now, all these 5 points are linked to each other, because the more you're able to manage your lifestyle inflation, the more you're able to save annually. The more you're able to save annually, the more you're able to invest. The more you're able to invest, the more you've got the flexibility to distribute both the risk as well as the investment portfolio. And the more you distribute the risk, you can see that which money you're looking only for growth potential in future. So you're not looking for any dividends, especially with tech stocks or startups. And which of these investments in the midterm or the short term are you looking for some sort of passive income coming in? And the more you generate passive income, the more it will be able to create wealth or accumulate wealth the faster. So this is a short video of just those 5 points that I would say are very essential and important. They sound very basic, but interestingly, most of us, we don't take them seriously, or we don't spend enough time. So my request to you would be that when you're doing your Excel sheets, portfolio management, looking at your net worth, ask yourself these questions. That A, when you're looking at your expenses, do you have your lifestyle in control? Is your savings 30% more and more of your total salary? Have you distributed your risks in form of the short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals? Have you distributed your portfolio, and is there any part or any specific investment that is more than 30% of your overall portfolio. And how much of your income is coming from the secondary sources or tertiary sources. And when you do that, you will be able to, I would say, go onto this path of creating wealth and as well as path of financial independence faster. I hope this video was useful. Please like and subscribe to this, and please comment, and please do reach out to me if you have any questions or any feedback. Would be more than happy to engage. Hope you have a great time, and hope to see you on my next hike or at a next place of another laughing falls or another crying falls. Take care. Bye-bye.